Hey, welcome back to Soul Whispers Tarot. I'm Karen. I'm here again with another pick a card reading. So today's reading is, what is this person dying to tell you? What do they really want you to know? But for whatever reason, they feel as though they cannot tell you, or they cannot tell you directly at this time. So I'm really excited because I'm going to be using my new oracle deck, which I've created, and it's called Our Eternal Love by Soul Whispers Tarot. So there's lots of channeled messages in these cards. I'm also going to be using the Mystic Monday Tarot, and the images of the different kings are from the Incidental Tarot. So if you're interested in attracting, in manifesting a really lovely, deep, healthy, romantic relationship, whether it's with a soulmate or a twin flame, then I do have a meditation called I Am Loved, I Receive Love, which will really help you. So in that meditation, we look very deeply into how to align yourself in self-love, how to see yourself through the eyes of your spirit guides, through the eyes of the universe, deep unconditional love. They know that you are worthy of deep true love. And so in the meditation, I really help you to step into that energy of really knowing your own worth, really becoming a vibrational match to attract that into your life. So that is called I Am Loved, I Receive Love meditation. And all the details for that are below this video in the description box. So in this reading, we have 3 sets of cards. And set of cards number 1 is the yellow crystal. Set of cards number 2 is the clear crystal. And set of cards number 3 is the red crystal. So I'll give you a few moments to tune into the energies of the cards. You can pause the video right now, but I'll also leave a few quiet moments. Okay, so let's look into the cards. So this is set of cards number 1, and you've chosen the yellow crystal. So we're going to be looking at the tarot cards and also my new deck, which is called Our Eternal Love. So this isn't on sale just yet, but I'm hoping to have it on sale in the next few months. And we're also going to be looking into the messages from the bag as well. So what's this person dying to tell you? What do they want to tell you? What do they want you to know? But for whatever reason, they feel as though they cannot tell you at this time. So just leave that there. Okay, so you have the Empress, the Six of Wands in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, the Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. So from Our Eternal Love cards, you have, I'm afraid that you're making fun of me to your friends. I don't know why, but I always doubt your love for me. So this person has some trust issues. We both have so much to learn and heal before we can align. No one will ever love me like you do, and no one will ever love you like I do. I became obsessed with you and it scared me. Okay. So what is this person dying to tell you? So they really want you to know that their love is true, and it's just their insecurities that have been getting in the way of them coming forward and expressing their emotions, their feelings to you. But the really positive signs are that we have the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. So they're both giving an offering. This is like a tangible offer of a new beginning, and the Knight of Cups is offering you their heart, expressing their emotions to you. They have deep romantic feelings for you. But yeah, they have a lot of insecurities. They have some trust issues when it comes to your connection or when it comes to you. I feel as though they have a poor self-image. So they're afraid that you're making fun of them to your friends. And what I'm picking up with this is they see you as this divine feminine, the empress. They see you as this beautiful lady, extremely attractive. They see you as like their dream girl, their dream lady is what I'm feeling. They feel like you're just really lovely and full of life, and you're very confident, you're very attractive, you're magnetic. And also there could be a spiritual quality about you that's drawing them to you magnetically as well. So they see you as someone that's very stable, very sure of yourself. You have a lot of self-love. You're emotionally secure, intelligent. There's wisdom within you as well. And they're feeling as though they're the page or the knight, you know. They're feeling as though they're not quite on your same level is what I'm feeling. They feel as though they're not good enough or you're out of their league or something like that. So there's the Six of Wands in reverse. So this is saying to me that they've been overly worried about how you're perceiving them. They're worried about what you think of them. And with the Six of Wands in reverse, I'm really picking up that they've been trying to impress you. They may, you know, this is like putting on a show, wearing a mask, trying to appear more popular. What Spirit is saying to me is this person may have surrounded themselves by a lot of people. So this could be friends. For some, it could even be like, you know, if it's a man, they've surrounded themselves with women. Like, they see you as someone that's incredibly attractive and they feel as though you could have anyone kind of thing. So they may have tried to make out that it's the same case for them. But ironically, I do feel like this person is very attractive. I do feel they are the Knight of Cups, and they attract a lot of people as well, but they just don't believe in themselves. They're lacking in that self-belief. And so this person has been trying to impress you. They've been trying to make out that they're more popular or more confident. Or they've just been putting a lot of emphasis on them, on those aspects, I mean, because I do feel like some of them, they are popular, but they've been putting, there's a sense that they've been putting too much emphasis on that kind of thing, outward appearances, to try and feel as though they're on the same level as you, but they are. It's like they're just going about trying to feel that and know that within themselves the wrong kind of way, rather than having that self-love and the realization that they are good enough just the way they are and they don't have to prove themselves. So I feel like that's been getting in the way. They've been overly worried about how you're seeing them, what you feel about them, what you're thinking about them. So they've been preoccupied with trying to mold that image of themselves rather than just coming forward and being direct and being their true authentic self. So it's kind of like they've shot themselves in the foot kind of thing. I don't know why, but I always doubt your love for me. So yeah, it's got a lot to do with that, the self-doubt. They may have met you when you were with your friends. They may feel that you are kind of gossiping about them because they've may have done some foolish things, or they may have not come forward because of their fears. And they feel as though you've been saying to their friends, like, I can't believe he's not expressed himself to me, or, you know, what the hell is he doing? Or, you know, it could be he or she. So, you know, if you've been getting tired of waiting around for this person is sensing that you're kind of saying that to your friends. And like I said, it may be that you met this person when you were with your friends, and that, maybe it felt intimidating to them when it was you and your friends, and they felt like there was never a chance to speak to you alone, kind of thing. Or there's just like outside influences that are really like worrying them, because this is about a crowd of people surrounding them or surrounding you or both of you. So they may be afraid of making a fool out of themselves and other people witnessing that. So, just as an example, it could be that you both work together and, all your other colleagues know what's going on, or everyone knows each other's business. And so for some, it could be something like that, something along those lines, where they're worried about this relationship with you being on display, or they're worried that you've, bitched about them to your friends or something. I don't know why, but I always doubt your love for me. So there may be something that's making them feel as though your love may not be true. They may feel as though you're putting on a show as well. They may feel as though you have a mask on when you're with your friends or something. It could be a scenario that there's a big group of people or something, and then one of you or both of you feel as though, you have to sort of play that role with your friends, kind of joking around, having a good time or something. But then it's like, who is the real person? They're wondering, who are you really? Are you what you say you are, or are you what they see you to be when you're with this group of people? Because I feel like there's a difference. There's differences here. They're like, who are you truly? Are you this person that is truly opening up and being vulnerable when there's alone time, or when you're communicating one to one? Or they're like, are you this other version that I've seen you to be? So, another example is you could be in the limelight and you've got to put on a certain persona to, if you're a public speaker or something. It's like, who are you, like, really? Are you this version, or the version that you've been trying to show them that you are deep down? Or you might have met on a night out and they may have thought that you are someone that just wants a good time, but you're attractive, or there's a lot of like men or women around you, and they're like, are you a player, kind of thing, or something like that? Or am I just going to be lost in the crowd? Am I just going to be someone else that's attracted to you, drawn to you? Are you like a femme fatale sort of thing? Are you going to take one bite of me and then, ditch me, kind of thing? So they have doubts. There's some kind of, what Spirit is saying is basically they had some kind of initial impression of you which wasn't exactly accurate. And a lot of their doubts are happening because of that initial impression. It's like they can't shake that initial impression, which may not have been a good impression. And so they're doubting when you're opening up to them and expressing your truth of who you really are. It's like they're wondering if you're being honest with them or not. And they don't want to make a fool out of themselves if you're not genuine. So they want you to know that it is just these doubts, but they still have, they've always had this deep love for you, is what I'm feeling. They've just had worries that it's not been real. They've had worries that it's an illusion. So there's the Hermit in reverse. They've got caught up going inwards. They've got caught up, trying to decipher whether this is real or not. if they take a chance, are they going to make a fool out of themselves? Or if they take a chance, is this going to open up into this beautiful relationship? So a lot of trust issues, and it is likely to do with their past as well, where people have probably deceived them. We both have so much to learn and heal before we can align. So they want you to know that this isn't a case of them just clicking their fingers, making a decision, and then being with you, and it all just happens. This is like a soul contract. This is really saying that certain healing has to occur. It's about the energetic vibration, the alignment of your vibrations, or the misalignment. So in our soul contract, we have lessons that we're supposed to learn, certain like checkpoints, if you like, along our spiritual path, where we learn certain things, we heal certain things, we get to a certain level of consciousness, of awakening, before the next stage in our life can unfold. So they want you to know it's not just about free will and making things happen. There is like a divine plan, there is a divine path, and things are happening for a reason. They want you to know it's not a rejection if they're not coming forward at this time, or if they haven't come forward in the past. It was literally lessons that needed to be learned on a soul level, and that's to do with both of you, coming into more self-love. When we're that love vibration within ourselves, then we can attract, we can align with love in a healthy way. We need that healthy relationship with ourselves before we can have that healthy relationship with another kind of thing. So the Hermit, they're saying there's been this sense of separation or feeling isolated, or there's like this wedge between you, and it's the energetic blocks, or it's just not the right timing. But there's some kind of issue with going around in circles and not seeing things clearly. It's like both of you are feeling pushed away or left out in some kind of way, or this person is afraid that you're going to leave them. I don't know why, I just get this feeling that this person sees you as potentially like a player or something. Maybe they met you when you were in another relationship or something, and then you two got closer and they thought, would she or would he, go behind my back if we got together? Something like that. But I don't feel like it's a true representation of who you are. It's just their doubts, these little thoughts that come up. So the Page of Pentacles, they want to give you an offer. They do. And they do want to express their emotions. They want to be confident, like this Knight of Cups. They want to race in. But they may be giving you small offers, or they may be hinting at their feelings, or just testing the waters, but to a point where they're being overly cautious, and they may be taking one step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. No one will ever love me like you do, and no one will ever love you like I do. And so deep down they do know that. It's just these doubts, it's these thoughts that come up, and they're worried that they're going to fall off the horse kind of thing, because this normally shows a person on a horse with like crowds of people like cheering them on. So they're worried about making a fool out of themselves, falling on their face. They're worried that you're going to make a fool out of them, that they're going to be humiliated in some kind of public way. But they do know that no one will ever love them like you do. And they do know that they will never love anyone else like they love you. I became obsessed with you and it scared me. So yeah, they felt like they became too emotionally attached to you. And then they felt as though they were losing control, because they felt like they couldn't remain logical. They couldn't, keep their cool kind of thing. They felt like if they got too close to you, then you would see how attached they were. you would see how emotionally all over the place they were, how much they needed you. Basically, they fear you knowing how much they need you, because then they feel like you could have power over them. Power to crush them or humiliate them, or power to just leave them and make them feel severely like rejected and humiliated. So it's like they don't want you to have like any power over them, so they're hiding their emotions, they're keeping their cards close to their chest. So let's look into these messages here, what they're dying to tell you, or what's really going on with them. Ego high. Okay. So this is really interesting. They see you as someone that's very attractive. Maybe they saw that you had a lot of like men around you, or a lot of women, and they saw you as someone who knew that you're attractive. Like you know you're attractive. You know that you can attract a lot of people, but you know that you deserve the best as well. But you have this magnetic quality. And, you know, I'm not trying to like judge anyone. We're all human. We all go through different experiences, but there may have been like a time in the past where maybe it went to your head a little bit with how attractive you felt, or you knew yourself to be. Maybe, you know, when you met this person, you were younger, some of you. Maybe it went to your head a little bit. With this attention that you were getting, and they felt like, you know, they didn't want to just be another face in the crowd. They didn't want to just be someone else that was queuing up to get your attention, kind of thing. So some of them, they may have tried to hold back to stand out to you and be like the one that's hard to get, or something like that. But also, they want you to know that they got an ego high from all this attention that you were showering them with, is what I'm feeling. You made them feel really good about themselves. You made them feel like $1 million, because they weren't expecting you to be attracted to them or fall in love with them. And so they felt very flattered by that, is what I'm feeling. And then I feel like there's this sense that they didn't have like high self-esteem. They had low self-esteem. And so they became very dependent upon your opinion of them, because that was making them feel good. When you were seeing them in a good light, you were building them up. You were seeing all these amazing aspects of them. That was helping them to see those aspects within themselves more. But they still had that self-doubt. You know, it wasn't self-esteem. It was like this esteem that they were kind of getting outside of themselves from you. You were feeding them with that, those good feelings. And you did help this person to feel more confident, but there was still this aspect of they needed to really find that inner confidence within themselves. They needed to really believe it within themselves. But I feel like they became too dependent on feeling this ego high, because that's what's happened. That's what happens when we look outside of ourselves and we feel all this praise and appreciation. Often that's feeding our ego. But when we find that self-esteem from within, you know, it's not the ego, it's genuine self-love. So there's an aspect of that, like this person got too caught up in the way that you were seeing them, and they didn't believe it within themselves. They may have felt like you had projected fantasies onto them, and you were in love with like that projection. And so they may have tried to become that projection. They may have tried to change themselves to be what you thought they were, and that was making them feel really good, like playing that role, because they were believing more and more that that was them, when deep down they didn't feel like that was them. So I hope this is making sense. But I feel like they fell from grace, perhaps. Maybe some of you walked away because they got too caught up in that ego high rather than being their genuine self. But it could be mirrored as well. You may have got caught up in this person being obsessed with you. It may have made you feel powerful in certain ways. And then a tower moment happened, and it was basically to force you both to go your separate ways temporarily, to find that self-love and self-esteem rather than relying too much on each other to kind of feed you that validation. Too good for me. I don't know why, but I always doubt your love for me. Too good for me. They feel like you were too good for them. Deep down, you may have felt as though this other person was too good for you. So maybe some of you are playing this role of the Empress and trying to feel attractive, and they may have been like, well, is this person just seeking my attention? Are they just seeking my approval? They're just trying to prove something to themselves and everyone else around them. You know, they're like, is her feelings genuine for me or not? Is it all just this ego high? And once I give her what she wants, she'll move on to someone else to get that. Or something like that. You know, whether that's true or not. Heart on. So this is about, you know, becoming aroused, but through feelings of love. So this person feels very passionate feelings about you. What I'm sensing is there may have been, like, for some of you, a group of their friends that were attracted to you. But then maybe, you know, there was this image of you that you were portraying that maybe, I don't know, it wasn't like they were seeing you as someone that was very attractive, maybe like a femme fatale, rather than someone to have like a stable relationship with. Like maybe they saw you as someone as like fun time only, but this person's always wanted more from you than that. But they may have wondered deep down if you would want that deep love as well, or whether you would just want like a shallower kind of connection. I do feel like there's some like initial impression that's left like an imprint on them. It could be gossip from other people that's kind of tainted their view of you or something. Misaligned. So yeah, this is what I was saying. That goes perfectly with this one. We both have so much to learn and heal before we can align. So misalignment because of the lessons. So they want you to know, you know, it's not personal. It's not a case of them just making things happen and making a choice. It's about that soul contract. So one final message, problem solving. They want you to know that they're going inwards. Just like that Hermit card, they are trying to problem solve, like how to take a chance, basically. How to overcome that fear of rejection or overcome that fear of humiliation. There may be so much pressure and emphasis put on your connection because I do feel like you've talked about this a lot to your friends. I feel like they've talked about it a lot to their friends. So there's a lot of like people that know about your connection and know what's going on. And so there's a lot of pressure there. It's like all eyes are on you two kind of thing. And that's intimidating for them. So I really hope this message has resonated with you. Please subscribe to my channel if it has, and tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. Please also check out my other readings on here. I have tons about how does this person feel, what's going to happen in your connection, what they want you to know, all readings like that. So please look at my playlist, and also please remember to check out that meditation. I am loved, I receive love, in order to really powerfully get into alignment, the love vibration alignment, to be able to manifest this happy, healthy relationship that you're desiring. So thank you so much, and I'll move on to the next set of cards. So welcome to set of cards number 2. You've chosen the clear quartz crystal. So what's this person dying to tell you? What do they really want you to know, but for whatever reason they feel as though they cannot tell you directly at this time? So you chose the Rose King. So we're going to look at the Mystic Monday Tarot and my new Oracle deck, which is called Our Eternal Love. These aren't currently for sale, but in the next few months I'm hoping to have them on sale. And then we're going to look at these messages in the bag as well. So what is this person dying to tell you? What do they really want you to know? There's the Devil in reverse. Judgment in reverse. The Ten of Wands in reverse. The Five of Swords. And the Six of Swords in reverse. So obviously I do read reversals. Some people have said, is your deck upside down? But no, I shuffle them in a specific way where I put some in reverse and some upright. Okay, and not all reversals are negative. So from the Our Eternal Love messages we have, there's so much water under the bridge. I don't know how we could ever come back from that. I've been hinting to you about my feelings because I'm afraid I'll be rejected. I've always struggled to feel good enough for you. I'm always talking about you to my friends. And I'm embarrassed about my actions. I wouldn't be able to look you in the eyes. Okay. So this person wants you to know that fear has got the better of them for the most part. I mean, that's probably really obvious to you. You definitely see that within this person, but they want you to know that they've always felt these deep feelings for you. They've always loved you. They've always wanted things to progress between you, but they've been struggling a lot with their self-esteem. The Devil in reverse is about feeling bound by fear, illusion, conditioning. It could be that they've experienced a lot of toxic people in their life that have left an impression on them, has left them to feel that they're unworthy. I feel like they may have experienced narcissistic people or people that have used and abused them. Some of them, they may be in a karmic kind of relationship. Maybe they've got another partner, or it could be one of their parents, or it could even be like a child or anyone. Some toxic relationship that's really eating their self-esteem, really making them feel like a bad person, really making them feel a sense of guilt perhaps in some cases, and so they're really feeling stuck in that low self-esteem. They don't feel as though they deserve happiness. They don't feel as though they deserve love. I feel that this is because of the messages they've received either growing up, or it could be at the present moment, or both. It could also mean that there's been unhealthy dynamics going on between you both, because it normally shows the couple that are chained to the devil. So it's like chained to the inner demons. You know, that's not to be taken literally, but symbolically, to again be like fears have been trapping you both. You may both have like walls up or masks on, or comfort zones basically. Judgment in reverse. So there's a fear of judgment, fear of rejection. And Ten of Wands in reverse, it's like this is such a heavy weight on their shoulders. It's such a struggle, but with that being in the reverse position, it's like they don't know how to let go of that heavy burden, that poor self-image. You know, they may have become extremely identified with seeing themselves in that negative light. And so it's hard to release a belief, you know, such a strong belief that we have about ourselves. It's like subconsciously continuing to hold on to that heavy weight is what's allowing them to stay in their comfort zone. It's like they want freedom, but they keep going in circles. There's an energy of pushing you away. Or it could be, you know, if it's mirrored, it's like this misalignment. If neither of you are in like the self-love vibration, or knowing your worth, or knowing you deserve a happy, healthy relationship, then that's a set of beliefs that are like blocking you from aligning in a healthy way. So it could be that, it could be mirrored energy that is pushing or repelling you both. Like you both want union. But it's a matter of healing to come into alignment. So the devil in reverse, they want you to know that they are coming out of whatever's been blocking them, whatever's been keeping them stuck in fear. Because I feel like this person has been choosing fear over love because of those self-worth issues. But they're coming out of that. They're beginning to realize what's blocking them, which is a good like first step. But there's definitely attachment issues here. They want you to know that they've done certain things to try and keep you attached to them because they're so afraid of losing you. But that fear has caused them to make some mistakes or bad decisions or take some bad action when it comes to this connection. Unhealthiness, like they want you to kind of be bound to them. So it could be a codependent dynamic where someone's overgiving and then the other person is more like the childlike kind of energy that's receiving the love but doesn't know how to give that back equally because they don't even know how to give themselves like that self-love. So it could be a dynamic where one person is like overextending themselves to help the other person, and then the other person is using that as a crutch, but then it's like they're not taking action, they're not taking the initiative to work on their own healing independently. They've become very codependent. And so fear, they may have even feared having like a balanced relationship because then it's almost like deep down they felt as though you needed someone to look after. You wanted to look after them. They had this fear that if they step into their own empowerment, then you wouldn't have that role to play anymore. And maybe, you know, you'd walk away because you didn't need them to be that childlike energy anymore. There's too much water under the bridge. I don't know how we could ever come back from that. And judgment in reverse. So they may have felt judged by you. You may have pushed them away. In some cases, if you felt that they were just continuing to go in circles, or if they were, you know, staying in their comfort zone, if they were looking to you to put in all the work or do all the work or make the decisions for them, you know, if they were playing that child role and you're kind of playing the parent role, you may have got tired of that. Because initially, some of you may have tried to help this person because you felt like then you would help them to get the ball rolling, or you'd help them to find their feet, and then they'd start walking and running and by themselves. You know, you thought they would be able to take over that role once you help them to know their worth, and then they could take action in their life and be more confident to do that. But they I feel like they became more and more dependent upon you. And the more dependent they were, the more they were looking to you to kind of do everything or most things. So this person could have had like toxic family relationships, a toxic relationship with their mother or their father or something like that. And they've experienced a lot of judgment from family. So they may have seen you as that parental, like a substitute or a surrogate, like mother or father, even if that sounds really strange. And so they were so afraid of your judgment. They were so afraid of that abandonment or rejection wound being triggered again, like they felt in childhood. So I feel like this is what caused them to get stuck and not take action or kind of not do anything. It's like this person froze in fear of judgment, but they're severely judging themselves. There's like this almost looks like a mirror. It's like they don't fully realize that it's their own self-judgment that they're afraid of, because if someone else judges us but we know our own worth, then their judgment doesn't affect us. But if we don't know our self-worth, then another person's judgment of us can seem extremely personal. But again, it's all to do with our own perspective, our own belief, whether we believe we're worthy or not. So this person feels unworthy, and so that's why they're overly, sensitive to any form of judgment or rejection. This their soul is being called to liberate themselves and step out of their comfort zone and take back their personal power and be responsible for their own life and take action and do all the things to create a wonderful, fulfilling life. But I feel like they have experienced controlling people, or they just feel safer in a dynamic when someone else is like the leader or taking charge. And it's like, you've needed this person to take more action. You've needed this person to take charge, but they just haven't. Your connection has somehow fallen into this dynamic where they're very passive. And for some of you, you may have walked away from that. You may have had like this harsh, or maybe not harsh, but you may have had this final judgment. You made this final decision. You took a step back to see what you really thought about this situation, this connection. And some of you took a step back because you felt like you were shouldering the weight of this connection. I've been hinting to you about my feelings because I'm afraid I'll be rejected. So yeah, this person wants you to know that they do feel this deep love for you. You have the Rose King. This is the King of Cups. I feel there is like an innocence about this person, but it's contributed to a unhealthy dynamic where they're overly passive and you've been the one that's taken the leadership role, but it's imbalanced. It's fallen into a rut. It's fallen into a cycle that's been going round and round and round. So I feel like you made a final judgment, but they want you to know that these hints that they were giving you were real. Some of you may have doubted because their hints were so subtle, or they were just being extremely indirect, so it caused you to second guess yourself, second guess the messages that they were indirectly giving you. But their feelings are real. I feel like this person feels foolish. Yeah, I'm embarrassed about my actions. I wouldn't be able to look you in the eyes. So yeah, their fear got the better of them. So this hinting about their feelings could have been in all kinds of different ways. It could have been they were your friend or something and they were trying to show you that they felt more, but at the same time, it's like anytime you sensed or you picked up on what they were trying to show you and they knew that you realized, it's almost like some of them retreated because they were like, oh, made them feel too uncomfortable for you to know their true feelings in case you rejected them. Because this person gives away their power so much, it's like they've given you so much power and they're afraid of that power that you have over them. And they feel like you could really hurt them if you walked away or if you pushed them away. I feel like that happened. It's like their biggest fear, it was for you to really confront them. So it's almost like they stayed so passive that they felt as though, so they could create this dynamic where you wouldn't even be able to express your truth if you were angry at them, if that makes sense. But I feel like it's happened anyway, because this person's been stagnating for too long. And you were stagnating if you were overgiving as well. You were trying to help build them up, but they need to do that for themselves. I've always struggled to feel good enough for you. It's been such a heavy burden. It's almost like subconsciously when the ego believes that, oh, you're too good for me, then that's like an excuse to not step out of the comfort zone. It's like a story that's like a safe story. It can keep us safe. 5 of Swords. I'm always talking about you to my friends. It's really strange. It's like this person's pushing you away to your face, but then to their friends, they're constantly talking about you. And it's like they're trying to problem solve and be like, what should I do? Or they're telling their friends stories about times you've shared together or experiences that have happened. And it's almost like I see them really lighting up and getting excited when they're talking about what's happened between you. It's almost like the more they talk about it, the more that they feel validated by your connection. That they've been codependent in terms of looking to you for that validation too much. And I feel like this has become very frustrating for some of you, because you can tell that they've been talking about you to their friends a lot. I mean, you know, some of their friends may have made that really obvious. And yet to your face, they may be like as cold as ice or something, with the swords pushing you away with their coldness. And this is a cycle that's been going on in repeat. Yeah, I'm embarrassed by my actions. I wouldn't be able to look you in the eyes. So this person they may even have like struggles of looking you directly in the eye. So this person could have like shyness issues or just intense fears of being vulnerable. But when they're around people that they feel comfortable with, that's when they're enthusiastically like telling you their feelings, telling them, their feelings for you. And it's really obvious, like they're making it so obvious to everyone else but you. I feel like some of you got tired of that because it just kept going in circles. So let's look into these messages here. What are they dying to tell you, or what do they really want you to know, or what's really going on? Chasing. Yeah, and that's near that devil in reverse. I feel like they did certain things to make you chase them in the past. And they're embarrassed about that now, because you finally wised up. You finally saw very clearly the kind of games that they were playing to get you to chase them, so that they could feel extremely secure in knowing how you felt about them. Yet when it came to the other way round, they weren't showing you how they felt about you clearly at all. They were just hinting things. They may have been hinting in terms of hinting about a future, or hinting about everything that was going to unfold once you were together. And in a sense, it was like false promises, because they weren't delivering on those hints, but it was causing you to get stuck on them and chase them. And that was kind of like feeding them what they were desiring, the validation that they wanted, the approval. It was kind of feeding maybe this fantasy that they had. Maybe they were living your connection through fantasies and, you know, daydreaming about things rather than things becoming real. Maybe they felt as though they weren't good enough to make things real, and so, but they didn't want to lose you. They had this attachment, and so they were hinting at you to chase them so they could be comfortable in taking as much time as they wanted, or just continuing to live in some kind of fantasy, but escaping reality, you know, escaping the difficulties of coming out of the comfort zone and being real. And maybe, you know, you suddenly realised that they were playing these games. And some of you freed yourself, and now they're like, they can't look you in the eyes because they felt like they were pulling the wool over your eyes for so long. They thought that you would never like see clearly. They thought that you were too emotionally involved to see things logically, but then you suddenly had this awareness. Misaligned. Okay, so this is all about the energetic dynamic here, the alignment or misalignment. So basically I feel like some separation had to occur because there was too much codependency going on here. I feel like on both sides you were looking to each other too much for validation, love, approval, because of not fully feeling it within, and that's what led to chasing. And in a way this person was chasing you by trying to get you to chase them. Do you know what I mean? They were indirectly doing things to get you to chase them because they wanted you, they wanted that validation. So that's their way of chasing. And you know, there's running and chasing. It's like they were running away from being open and vulnerable, but through you chasing them, that was you running away from feeling abandoned or rejected, running away from the wounds within yourselves, basically, and chasing after that validation outside of selves. So neither of you were fully in that self-love vibration, knowing your worth, knowing that you deserve the best. I feel like you were putting up with things that you deserved better than that. And so there has needed to be this separation for you both to realize, have the time and space to let go of codependency and look inwards, look into that mirror. And yeah, judgment in reverse. Spirit is saying that some of you knew deep down that you needed to be honest with yourself and kind of judge like their actions a bit more, in terms of being honest that they weren't really serving you, they weren't really healthy when you're holding on to them, when they weren't treating you right, an unwillingness to give up holding on to, you know, being the one that's holding that up, the connection sort of thing. So yeah, this is like their higher self wants you to know that it was never a true rejection. They were rejecting themselves. They were running away from this pain they felt about feeling unworthy within themselves. And, you know, they couldn't just use their free will to make things happen, because both of you have needed this time to go inwards and find that self-love, really align with that self-love. And that's what my meditation I mentioned at the start is all about. It's called I Am Loved, I Receive Love, and it's all about seeing yourself through the eyes of your soul family, of the universe, unconditional love, unconditional self-love. Really knowing how to step into and align with that self-worth. So you are that you become that higher vibration of love. Therefore, whatever vibration we are is what we attract, is what we manifest into our life. We don't manifest what we want, we manifest what we are, So that meditation can really help you. And that, again, is called I Am Loved, I Receive Love. And the details for that are below this video in the description box if you're interested. So yeah, their higher self wants you to know that there's a lot of mirroring going on here. I've always struggled to feel good enough for you. They're saying that some of you felt that as well. You didn't feel good enough for them. And that's why in this deck it's like a woman, because, most of you watching this are women, but, it could be a man. You were shouldering the weight of this entire relationship because you didn't feel good enough. You felt like you had to prove yourself to them. And something had to happen to force that unhealthy dynamic between you both to stop, for you both to be forced to take a step back and see things clearly so you don't continue going in that stagnant cycle. Trying to impress you, yes. Because they haven't felt good enough for you. I feel like they have tried to act in certain ways, not being their true, authentic self. They've been trying to impress you. And then you saw right through that all of a sudden. And they're embarrassed about that now. Maybe they didn't consciously realize what they were doing as well. And then when you realized it about them, they realized it about themselves and they felt foolish. And they want you to know that they were trying to impress you because they cared so much about what you thought. But then they just became so dependent upon your approval that got in the way of them being able to look inwards and focus on their true feelings and being authentic. The fear of losing you was causing them to be more in the ego, the fear, looking for that validation, trying to impress you, not being their true self, trying to look strong. So they've been trying to impress you by trying to look strong, basically. And it's because they feel that they're weak. Anyone that's trying to overcompensate and trying to look stronger than what they really feel is because they really feel that they're weak or they're not strong enough. So this person's been trying to hide that from you. But that's what shut down them from being open, from them being vulnerable, from them expressing their true feelings. Because when they're trying to look strong, it's like there's this swords kind of energy, this coldness. So this person may have had like a poker face going on. But they want you to know they tried to look strong because they felt that like their weakness or their supposed weakness would turn you off. I feel like they see you as a strong person, so they try to match that and appear to be strong because they were afraid that you wouldn't take them seriously. If there was like a parent-child dynamic, they may, deep down, it may have been safer to stay as the childlike aspect in order to keep you attached to them. But they wanted to, in order for things to move forward, they wanted and needed to feel more of an equal, more like a man, kind of like a strong man or a strong woman. And they just didn't feel that way. So they were trying to act that way. But in order to just put on that act, it meant they had to keep you at a distance. Otherwise, if you got too close, you would see that they don't truly feel as strong as they're making out. And they may associate strength with having that poker face and not being overly emotional, but they are that King of Cups. This is someone who is like more aligned with their divine feminine energy, but they may have been ridiculed by that. They may have been told that they're, not the stereotype of a typical man or how men should be if they're sensitive. And so they may have, from a young age, learnt to really hide that true depth. And it's like you see that true depth in them, and that's what you fell in love with, but they're hiding that from you. And so it's just been going in circles. One final message. You're incredible. So yeah, they really want you to know that they really look up to you. They see you as this amazing, wonderful, powerful, divine feminine, or it could be divine masculine if it's the other way around. They see you as incredible, and that's why they've struggled to look you in the eyes. They felt embarrassed and all things like that. So please check out my other readings. I have loads on here about how do they really feel about you, what do they want you to know, what's going to happen within your connection. So please look at my playlists, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. And please check out the meditation, I am loved, I receive love. All the details are below this video in the description box. So thank you so much, and I'll move on to the final set of cards. So this is set of cards number 3, and you've chosen the red crystal. So what's this person dying to tell you? What do they really want you to know, but for whatever reason they feel as though they cannot tell you at this time? So we're going to look into the Mystic Monday Tarot, and then my new Oracle deck, which is called Our Eternal Love. These aren't currently for sale, but I'm hoping they will be in the next few months. And then we'll be looking into these messages as well. So what do they really want you to know at this time? So there's the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Four of Swords, Justice, the Chariot in reverse, and the Three of Swords. So I'm seeing a lot of blue, which is the throat chakra. So they really are wanting to communicate their truth to you. But also it's like indigo colour, which is the third eye chakra. So they're seeing things a lot more clearly. I feel as though there has been a separation of sorts with that Three of Swords and the Chariot in reverse, and the Four of Swords is like them going inwards. So from Our Eternal Love cards we have, I didn't realise what I had until it was too late. So yeah, excuse me. So yeah, there's been a separation here. Past life karma is causing a deep rejection fear I'm not even consciously aware of. So yeah, things have happened in your past lives with each other where this person has felt rejected or abandoned by you, by your soul. And it's likely you've, felt that from their soul in previous lifetimes as well. And so it's really this past life wounds and fears coming through into this lifetime, most likely on both sides, because justice is the scale, the balance, it's on both sides. So that may be the karma that you need to heal, the fear of abandonment and rejection. Never doubt my love for you. I have always loved you and I always will. This is meant to say, can we start all over again? But it says, can't we start all over again without the apostrophe? But this was the first, this is like my test deck. But I'll sort that out for the final one. Can we start all over again? I grew up with bad role models. I have no clue how to love you like you deserve. Wow. So what they want you to know is that they know that you deserve the best. They know that you deserve a happy relationship with someone that's fully there for you. In a way, this person has held back because they felt like they couldn't be that person that you needed them to be at that time. But they definitely feel deep love. They really want you to know not to doubt their love, that they have always loved you and they always will. And any stuff that's happened, any like negative stuff that's happened, they want you to know it isn't because they didn't love you. It's because they literally haven't known how to love you, because they feel like they don't know how to love themselves. They grew up with bad role models, and so they have felt this rejection, fear from past lives with their own parents as well, and within this lifetime. And I feel as though they didn't witness like a happy relationship with their own parents, or they've experienced one of their parents or both of their parents having difficult relationships with others, or they may not have one of their parents in their life. One of their parents may have left or something like that, and they may have witnessed their other parent having like bad relationship after bad relationship or something like that. Or they may have grown up where emotions weren't talked about, emotions were awkward, or there was a lot of taboo subjects that were just never talked about. People keeping themselves to themselves. People just like their family just relating to each other on a surface level, like what's going on day to day, but then not delving into emotions or talking about important things like that. Or, it could be the opposite of that. They could have had grown up with people, because there's a lot of swords energy, a lot of harsh words or arguments, or, people completely crushing other people through their harsh words. So there was a lack of stability in their childhood, never fully knowing if their family unit was stable or whether it's going to come crashing down at any moment. Anything like that. They want you to know that they've experienced a lot of difficulties in their childhood, and therefore that's really, really affected them as an adult. And they may literally not know what a healthy relationship looks like, or they may not know that they deserve love or that they are lovable, because maybe they didn't experience that, knowing that from their own parents. They may have experienced previous like toxic relationships in terms of partnerships because of this lack of knowing their own worth. So the Seven of Swords in reverse, they want you to know that they regret running away from you. They want you to know that they've always had this tendency to kind of keep themselves to themselves when it comes to their emotions, or keeping their emotions close to their chest. This person may fear conflict. They may have experienced a lot of conflict in their childhood, or like I said, it could be the opposite, where there was a lot of passive aggression in their family, but there was never real like proper arguments or people properly telling each other what their true needs are. A lack of communication, or too much toxic, erratic communication in their childhood. So they've run away when it comes to some form of communication. They could have pushed you away with harsh words, or they could have run away because they were afraid that you would have harsh words, or they were afraid of being vulnerable in expressing their emotions to you in case you used that against them to hurt them. They may have experienced that in their childhood. where, you know, when we're children, we're open and vulnerable naturally, and we can be really joyful and like innocent. And then, you know, just imagine feeling like that, and then one of your parents comes along and like says something really nasty or really harsh to you, you know, projects their anger and resentment onto the innocent child, and that child's left feeling like totally stabbed in the heart because they totally weren't expecting that, and they definitely didn't deserve that kind of thing. So I feel like they've experienced people using their feelings against them from people who were supposed to love them the most. And so they've become very wary of expressing their deepest vulnerable feelings in case, you know, someone stabs them in the heart and throws those words back at them in some kind of way, or makes them feel foolish. So they run away. They may have been so caught up in fear that they want you to know they just couldn't see things clearly enough. They didn't realise what they had with you until it was too late. They were too busy trying to protect their heart that they kept you at a distance, or they refused to have an important conversation that was needed to take things into a deeper level of commitment or a deeper level of emotional intimacy. They were so afraid that they just kept going inwards. I feel like this person, they were very passive. They weren't taking action because they were still in this place of heartbreak from their childhood or from their past. And so a lot of their energy is spent alone trying to recover. I mean, they may be going through these toxic situations right now, and so they learnt to isolate themselves just to get away from the toxicity. So they may have got very used to just going inwards, on being introverted or being isolated. And your connection was really calling them to open up again, to like defrost their heart. It's like their heart was frozen with the fear, frozen with the pain. And they just didn't feel ready. This is all about going inwards, trying to heal themselves, trying to rejuvenate their energy, taking time alone. Because of past life karma, rejection wounds that they're not even consciously aware of. And those wounds are really, really been triggered up within them, within your connection. Because it's like the deeper they feel for you, the more they could be totally stabbed in the heart and be really hurt and heartbroken. And so it's like they were spending so much time and energy trying to run away from this and stay in their safety, emotional safety, their comfort zone, or just where they felt secure in their isolation, that they didn't really realize exactly how much of a friend you have been to them, or how much you truly love them, or how much they truly love you. They were just, their buttons were being pushed left, right and center. And so they were just so much in their head thinking about or feeling like this rejection wound being triggered over and over, or the fear of that happening, that they couldn't really focus on the love and the positive things until you've walked away. And then because they're no longer fearing their wounds being triggered because you're not there anymore, that's like made them feel like they could recover. It's taken the pressure off them, and it's allowed them to see what's truly in their heart, how they truly feel. This person wants you to know that they want justice in your connection. They want balance. They're realizing that you aren't like the people from their past. They're realizing that you are truly a loving, genuine person, and that you wouldn't ever try and purposely hurt them. because they had doubts about that, or they had trust issues in the past. But with hindsight, they're realizing that you were genuine and you had their best interests in mind. And they're seeing the innocence within you. It's like they needed this distance to see things clearly. And they may have felt like it's an injustice if they were still kind of attached to toxic people who didn't have their highest good in mind. They may realize now that that's an injustice in terms of you were giving them true love and being genuine, and yet they still were identifying so much with the toxic energy and people around them, because it created a belief that they weren't good enough and that's what they deserved, kind of thing. Even if that was like a subconscious belief. But they're realizing it's an injustice, and they want you to know that they have regrets about the unfairness of how that feels for you if they just chose to stay in really toxic situations and running away from you, running away from love, because they weren't aligned with it, basically. Never doubt my love for you. I've always loved you and I always will. So they want you to know that they are very grateful for everything that you've done for them and may continue to be doing for them. You've been a great support to them, and they realise that. And they do want to put things right. They do want justice for you. They want you to be happy. I feel like this person does genuinely love you. I mean, they do want to be with you. They want to start all over again. But at the same time, they feel that, you know, if they can't be the person that you need them to be, this is someone that loves you so much that they would sacrifice themselves to see you happy with someone else. And that is like genuine love. They want you to be happy. But the problem is, it's like this person keeps sacrificing themselves too much because they still have karma to settle. They still don't fully know how to free themselves. The Chariot in reverse. This is really saying that they hope and dream that you can start over again, that there can be this movement forward into a balanced relationship. But right now they're still very much caught up in this Three of Swords energy. The Chariot in reverse could say that, you know, that chariot toppled over because there was a lack of balance in your connection. So everything sort of fell over or fell apart with that Chariot in reverse. So there's been a stop in terms of forward movement. It's come to a stop, and they feel all this heartbreak about that. But this is like a third party situation, and the third party energy is the fear. So, you know, justice, this is likely to be mirrored in some ways, but because we are just focusing on this other person's energy right now, that's why I'm mostly just talking about their blocks and their fears. But I'm not meaning that to imply it's just them that has things to heal. It's just because we're focusing on their energy. I grew up with bad role models. I have no clue how to love you like you deserve. And so they're heartbroken about that. They may have realised that a long time before you did. You may have like had high expectations of them, but deep down they always felt as though they had no clue of how to love themselves and have a healthy relationship with themselves so they could have a healthy relationship with you. And so they've always had their doubts about their capability to give you what you deserve. But they know that you've been holding out hope, and they feel bad about that, and they do want to start all over again. They do want things to progress between you, but I still feel like this person has a lot of healing to do at this time. So let's look into these messages here. Heart on. So this is basically about getting aroused through their feelings of love for you. So they have a lot of passionate feelings about you at this time. This person, you know, they really wish they could click their fingers and be in your bed, or you're in their bed kind of thing right now. They're feeling a lot of yearning for this to progress forward. Running, yeah. But they are running. They have these desires. They think about you all the time is what I'm feeling, but they are running right now. This person suffers with a lot of self-doubt, have a lot of negative beliefs about themselves and their capabilities, you know. Or they may see that you're running away from them now because they were running for all this time, and then you may have tried to seek your own justice and you've put a halt to this connection, and it's, you know, they feel like you're running away from them now. You're my world, and that's over the top of never doubt my love for you. So yeah, they see you as the most important person to them in their entire life. They think very highly of you. They love you very deeply. Your connection is incredibly meaningful to them. And I'm sensing that they're just so grateful for all the love and the support that you've given them. And they just really wish that you knew that, how grateful they are. Lost without you. So yeah, they either ran away or you ran away or both. But now they're feeling lost without you, you know. There's a huge hole in their heart without you. They feel that heartbreak. So one final message. Karma to settle. So yeah, that's why there's a separation going on at this time. This person has karma to settle elsewhere, and you may have karma to settle elsewhere as well. There may be karma between you from past lives to do with that rejection and basically overcoming the fears of that. So please check out my other videos on here. I have loads about how does this person really feel about you, what's going to happen in your connection, what do they want you to know. So please look at my playlists, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. And again, if you are interested in powerfully aligning with the love vibration and self-love, self-worth to attract, manifest the mirror of that back to you in terms of a happy, healthy relationship, then please check out my meditation, I Am Loved, I Receive Love, and all the details for that are below this video in the description box. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye.